if anybody out there has not seen my latest video, YouTube Auto Reality, this may not make a whole lot of sense, but hopefully you have. Shannon, obviously one of the characters, Detective Inspector Strucci, was named after Shannon. Because she did this amazing, currently 2-part. I believe are there going to be more?
Yeah, the original plan is like a 4-part. It's basically like a wider essay split into 4. It's like the introduction, examples, then a lot of research, then a conclusion. But they're just coming out like a year apart because it takes a long time.
Yeah, because the first one was like half an hour, wasn't it? The second one was like a beast of an essay.
It's feature length. It's like almost 2 hours long.
Yeah, I sat down and watched that in like one solid go when I was researching mine. I was like, ooh, wow. Sorry, I'm just going to have to occasionally skip the adverts here, kids. We're doing old school music tonight. It's not coming through computers. I've just got like a set of speakers right here. So, yeah, we're having to do it all very differently tonight. But yeah, Shannon like wrote the book on parasocial relationships. So yeah, it was just good to have you on and chat about it. Like, I'm really glad that you watched the video. I'm really flattered that you did.
It was awesome. I was really flattered to be like included as a big part of it. I told people too, I think on Twitter and in an update video I just did. I had no idea. We hadn't talked about it at all. I had no idea we were going to do it. And I was like, oh my God, that's so funny. That's so cool.
Well, I'm really glad. I worried for a bit. I was like, oh, what if they don't like that I named the cops after them? But it wasn't intended to. Yeah, well, I worried that people would interpret it as like a reply video, rather. But it wasn't like. So in improv, there's this rule called like yes and. So you don't say no to anybody. You just say yes and. So if somebody says we're on Mars, you don't say no, we're not. We're on Jupiter. You say yes, we're on Mars, and we're on like a Martian ant farm. So I wanted to make that video that was like a yes and rather than a kind of no, which was good, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm really glad that you liked it, and I know that Lindsay's seen it as well. Lindsay left a comment saying, "I'm really glad that Detective Ellis is the bad cop." I was like, they're kind of both bad cops.
No, they are both. I mean, just because someone's polite doesn't mean that they're like a good person. Just because they're not yelling at you, it makes it worse, kind of.
Yeah, it's like good cop, Nietzschean cop, I guess. There's a lot of Nietzsche went into Detective Sergeant Ellis. I don't know why he was Scottish. When I was writing him, I was like, "Go on, make him Scottish." And same with the eye patch as well. I was like, I don't know why. I just thought, go on, give him an eye patch. See what happens.
A very striking visual. There's been a lot of weird costume decisions in left tube stuff recently. I don't know if anyone had an eye patch yet.
I don't think anyone's had an eye patch just yet. I wish I could, if we were doing it fancy style, I'd be able to show everybody, but there's been some amazing fan art of Detective Inspector Strucci, which we can definitely share afterwards. But yeah, it was good. Some people in the chat saying everyone went wild over that accent. It's had mixed results. Some Scottish people have been like, that's really good. And some Scottish people have been like, never do that again. So I'll just give you a little tweak. Yeah, so I'm not sure if anyone on Left Tube's done an eye patch yet. Certainly, I can't tell anyone what it is. I will DM you and tell you afterwards. Certainly nobody's done what I've been doing today. So people in the chat, I apologize. My voice is a little husky tonight because I've been using it. I've been recording the final part of the Royal Family video today, and I've been outside. But other than that, I can't tell you what I've done. Like, it's going to be so amazing. I'm going to get my hands on the footage tomorrow, and I can't wait to edit it. But anyway, parasocial relationships. So I guess, did you have any thoughts, like things that you wish I had mentioned, or like notes from the video? What were your thoughts? Because you wrote the book on Parasocial, or the virtual book.
The YouTube book.
Yeah.
It was really. I talked about that in the first Fake Friends, that it was super weird that going to film school, stuff like auteur theory, you can find a million videos about it, and then there was basically nothing about parasocial relationships. Is
parasocial relationships something that you would like study? Not at film school, no.
No, it would be like media theory, I guess, although I didn't study it in any of those kinds of classes, or like a lot of psychology students are more likely to study it, which seems weird. It seems like really important, especially now, to study it. Because, yeah, the people who came up with the theory were Horton and Wall in 1956, and they had been noticing it going back like to the 40s. So, I mean, the theory's been around since, you know, like 60, 70 years, but it was something that I think people didn't put a specific name to or hadn't really thought about or whatever.
Nice. So maybe some people in the chat are saying they could maybe use a refresher on what parasocial relationships are. So what is there like a nutshell way we could capture it, do you think?
Yeah, well, it's a one-way relationship. That is the most essential definition of it. Like, it could be with you and a fictional character, you and a performer, you and a celebrity, you and someone streaming on YouTube or whatever. And I think that was one thing, because you were talking about in the video, and there was a point where you said it isn't just one way. And I was like, well, it has to be. If it's parasocial, then it is one way, you know. But it can be like are different parasocial relationships going different ways, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I was getting at was like parallel parasocial relationships, because that was something that stood out to me from your essays, was when you said parasocial relationships are necessarily one way. I was like, I don't feel like so I guess I should say as well that all the examples of like letters and stuff that people sent me, all the quotes that I used in that video were all real, anonymized, obviously. If anybody recognized their words, don't worry. But yeah, so I felt a kind of, I don't know if parasocial relationship would be the right term for it, but I certainly felt like something of a connection to a lot of those and more. So yeah, that's why I wanted to like emphasize the other way as well. But is that technically a parasocial relationship then, or is I was saying that, is that just a social relationship with some like technologically mediated?
Yeah, just because, especially if you had sort of a back and forth and like an actual communication, because what makes something parasocial is there's no actual communication, like back and forth. There's no getting to know someone a little bit or having finding out how they would actually respond to you or how they would actually feel about something that you say. So even like, I guess that means like technically if someone replies to someone on Twitter, then it's not parasocial anymore, even though it mostly still is. Like if I replied to a fan, it's not like they know me as a person, but that does take it out of if you're using a very, very strict, rigid definition, especially if someone sends you a very personal letter and you talk back and forth a little bit, then that's obviously just because they're a fan or because there's that like power imbalance or attention imbalance, it doesn't make it parasocial. I would say, but like, as you said, it's just like a technologically mediated communication. Like I don't know if I should do this, but I do search Twitter for the term parasocial to see like what people are talking about. I think that's how I initially found out that you were making the video. Oh, cool. And there are people who are like, my online friends are still my friends. Like, you're awful. And I'm like, I never said that. Just because you know someone through the internet, it's not real. People get so offended.
Whoa.
It's weird.
Wow.
Or some of the comments on the video were sort of to that effect as well. Not a lot. I mean, it got like a few hundred comments, but it's like, no, I'm not saying that just because your friends are on Twitter or whatever, they're not real friends. If you're communicating with them and they're your friend, it's obviously not parasocial. But I think people had a very strong emotional reaction, negative or positive, to the second episode, and it was just like,
really? Why do you think people place so much emphasis on parasocial relationships? I guess like nobody enjoys finding out that you never really know somebody, right? It's a horrible feeling when you think you know someone and then it turns out that you don't.
Yeah. And that was, I think, a lot of what fueled my perspective on parasocial relationships, because I think I'm a lot more cynical than most people who set out to do YouTube, or most people who try to use this kind of thing to have an emotional connection. Is when I was younger and just throughout different parts of my life, I did become friends with people I was a fan of, and it was not good.
Oh.
There were a couple of instances. There was actually, I've talked about this on Twitter a little bit. When I was like 15, 16, 17, I became really good friends with a man who was like 38, who worked on some TV shows I really liked. And you can kind of imagine where that went. And,
oh. I think Shannon's just crashed. I think somebody's swept in and taken her out. Well, we'll see if we can look at that amazing. Look at this. Oh no, she's gone. I can't. I think she's been totally wiped out. All right, no worries. Well, hopefully, we'll be able to get Shannon back at some